welcome to the channel. Let's take a look at my top 5 picks from the Space Marine Index deck. Thanks to Games Workshop for sending the index cards through to me. So in no particular order, starting off with the Land Raider Redeemer. If you've been keeping up with the Games Workshop Warhammer community leaks, you know that the Land Raiders have the Assault Ramp keyword, which is a rare thing in the index decks. Each time a unit disembarks from this model after it has made a normal move, that unit is still able to declare a charge this turn. In the rules at the moment, if you get out of a vehicle before it moves, you can move, advance and charge. If you get out of a vehicle after it moves, you just get out and stand there and shoot, but you can get out after it's moved. And Land Raiders allow you to get out and shoot and charge, which is pokey, and it's toughness 12 with a 2-up save and 16 wounds, so it isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and it has an objective control value of 5. But I've picked the Land Raider Redeemer because it seems to me to be the best Land Raider. On top of the Assault Ramp, on top of its chunkiness, the Flamestorm Cannon ignores cover and Torrent at 12-inch range. The Flamestorm Cannon is D3 plus 6 attacks, and it has 2 of them. So every time it fires at a unit within 12-inch range, it's going to do 2d6 plus 6 hits, automatic hits on that unit, which is 8 to 18 automatic hits. At strength 6 minus 2, 2 damage. It is the ultimate marine killer, the ultimate infantry killer in your army. The assault cannon's only got 6 shots now. Hits on 3, strength 6, AP 0, 1 damage. But you're bringing it for the Flamestorm Cannon, and you're bringing it for its chunkiness, and you're bringing it for its ability to move and then assault from. It's gonna be a solid pick in any list that wants to stick things inside a Land Raider to move forward to kill. And anything can get inside the Land Raider as well. It has a transport capacity of 14 Adeptus Astartes infantry models, and each jump pack, Wolfen, Gravis, Terminator takes the place of 2 models, about 7 of those guys, and each Centurion model takes up the space of 3 models. So Land Raiders can put anything inside, Primaris, not Primaris. You can assault from it, and they're just going to be a mobile fortress on wheels, and I do like the weapons on the Redeemer. Next, let's take a look at the Contemptor Dreadnought. Toughness 9, which is nice, with 10 wounds, which is nice, and it doesn't degrade. Toughness 9 with 10 wounds and a 2-up save, so it's got Terminator armor save on it. It's nice. And a 5+ invulnerable save. You're going to charge this thing up the table. It comes in units of 1, and you're probably going to switch the assault cannon for the multi-melter, because that multi-melter hits on 3, strength 9 minus 4 d6 damage, and within half range it's d6 plus 2 damage. But the reason why I've highlighted this one is because even in death I serve. It's because of this little rule here. The first time this model is destroyed, remove it from play without blowing it up, its deadly demise ability. Then at the end of that phase, roll a dice, and on a 2-up, set this model back on the table as close to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range, with d6 wounds remaining. You're getting another Contemptor with d6 wounds back. You're going to roll a 1, have 1 wound come back. But what are those occasions when you actually roll a 6 and suddenly there is a toughness 9, 2-up save, 5-up invulnerable save Contemptor in and amongst your opponent's line, with 6 wounds remaining, ready to run round all over the place. Bringing this thing back, having a couple of them being distraction carnifexes running up the board is going to be pokey. Firestrike servo turrets didn't receive much love in the previous edition, and in this edition we're going to see them. They can come in units of up to 2. They also have a 2-up save with 6 wounds and 6 toughness. So they are relatively resilient, and they've actually got an objective control of 2. So you could put 2 of these on your home objective, and that's an objective control of 4 with toughness 6 with a 2-up save. That's quite nice. Now, the reason why we didn't see them very much is because the Las Talon was 24-inch range, but now it's 36-inch range. And the Las Talon hits on 2s at strength 10, minus 3, d6 plus 1 damage. The auto cannons only have 3 attacks now. They hit on 2s, strength 9, minus 1, 3 damage. But the reason why we're going to see them is because of Sentinel protocols. Not just because the las talon has got longer, but because of Sentinel protocols. But we might see them just because the las talon has got longer, to be honest. Twin-linked las cannon and twin-linked autocannon, they're re-rolling wounds with those shots. They're hitting on 2s and then wounding and then re-rolling all the wounds because both of those guns are twin-linked. But Sentinel protocols, each time you select this unit for the Fire Overwatch stratagem, hits are scored on a modified hit rolls of 4+ when resolving that stratagem. So, for those that don't know, Fire Overwatch now can be done in your opponent's movement phase, not just when stuff charges you. And you can do it in your opponent's movement phase if stuff moves within 24 inches. So, a couple of Firestrike servo turrets at the back will be shooting in your turn, because you'll be shooting them in your turn, and for 1 CP, anything that moves within 24 inches of them will shoot in the opponent's turn movement phase as well, hitting on 4s. But 2 of them, 2 las talons, and each of those las talons has 2 shots each, so that's 4 shots hitting on 4s. 2 of them hitting in your opponent's movement phase on 4s, strength 10, -3, d6 +1 damage. These things are they're gonna shut down certain firing lanes here or there. They're gonna be a pain in the backfield, and they're gonna be something that you might want to consider, and something that the opponent is gonna be. If you're gonna be doing the strat and shooting stuff and hitting it on 4s, they're gonna be something that your opponent will not like. How about the Thunderfire cannon? We didn't see these very much. They're toughness 6 with a 2-up save and 6 wounds. So they've got the same profile as a Firestrike servo turret. The same objective control, the same movement, the same everything. So they're just as tough and resilient as the Firestrike. But Tech Marines again. Tech Marines for the win. The reason why I'm suggesting this one isn't because of the cannon, but the cannon's quite nice, which is d6 +4 shots, hitting on 3, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. It has got blast, and it has got indirect fire, so it is going to be a pretty good horde killer for low armor value units out there. Your Eldar, your Tau, your Imperial Guard, things like that. But it's got tremor shells. In your shooting phase, after this unit is shot, if an enemy infantry unit was hit by 1 or more attacks, until the end of your opponent's next turn, that enemy unit is shaken. And while that unit is shaken, they subtract 2 from that unit's move and 2 from advance and charge rolls made for that unit. So adding a Thunderfire cannon to your army and leaving it in the backfield, somewhere out of mind, somewhere out of line of sight where it can't be targeted from the enemy, and then dropping indirect shells on an enemy infantry unit is definitely going to be a tactic that people use. It's not going to be doing much killing, but you're going to be putting it on enemy infantry units such as Terminators that you want to slow down, or elite units that are coming at you that you want to slow down. Anything that you can do to influence your opponent's movement is powerful in this game. If we think about some Death Guard units, Blight Lord Terminators have a movement characteristic of 4. So getting hit, and just hit, not even wounded, but hit by a Thunderfire cannon means they're moving 2 inches. And even if they went to run, they subtract 2 from their advance roll. So even if they're moving 2 inches, and if they roll on the d6, if they roll a 1 for their advance, then instead of moving 5 inches, they're only moving 3 inches. You're slowing stuff right down with the Thunderfire cannon. I like it. Next, we're going to take a look at the Inceptor squad. Inceptors, or Jumpy Dudes, one of my favourite units from the previous edition, have gone up a pip in toughness from toughness 5 to toughness 6. And they've lost 3 shots from their assault bolters. Instead of their assault bolt was kicking out 6 shots, their assault bolt was only kicking out 3 shots now at strength 5 -1. But they are 2 damage of time, and they are twin linked, and they do have sustained hits too, which means any 6s to hit count as 2 additional hits. Those 3 shots that you roll, if you roll 3 6s, well, that's an extra 6 hits that you get. So losing attacks, losing shots is a pain, but sustain hits 2 is nice, twin linked is nice, damage 2, nice, and meteoric descent. When this unit is set up on the battlefield using the deep strike ability, it can perform a meteoric descent. If it does, this unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 3 inches away horizontally from enemy units. It's not eligible to charge when it does so, but that's a powerful rule. It means there might be an objective somewhere that you could suddenly drop into, and you'll be within 4, 5, 6 inches of an enemy unit, but you drop these guys in and they're firing away with say a unit of 3. That's 9 shots hitting on 3s, any 6s to hit, 2 additional hits, twin linked, re-rolling the wound, and suddenly you've taken that objective because you're able to drop just over 3 inches away. The plasma gun not overcooked is strength 7 -2, 2 damage. And if you overcook it, it's strength 8 -3, 3 damage. So it's a Terminator killer. If you want to pay the points to make them Terminator killers, you can make them Terminator killers. They can come into up to units of 6. But the reason why I really wanted to highlight this was because of meteoric descent, being able to drop in closer to enemy units than you could before. If you're going to pay the points to upgrade them to plasma exterminators, I imagine that this squad will be very pricey, because having flat 2 damage plasma without overcooking is powerful. Having flat 3 damage plasma when you do overcook is very, very powerful. Now, the Space Marine Index deck has got about 3,000 cards in it. So actually finding a top 5 that I wanted to highlight was a very difficult job. So these might not necessarily be the best units in the game, but I think the new rules that they have, those little tweaks in there, definitely made them stand out to me. Definitely made me want to highlight them to all Space Marine players out there. So hopefully you found this video useful. Stand by for more videos like this as we take our run up and our leaping jump into 10th edition. Happy wargaming.